Today we're going to be working on this beautiful topiary. It's a fall glass topiaries, and so I'm going to show you how to make it. This will serve, I hope, as inspiration for you. You can make it your own, change the colors up or change even the patterns. But I hope that this gives you some ideas so that you can decorate for the holidays. And this piece could be used outside or indoors, so I hope you get to give it a try. All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's go through the materials and walk you through all those. So I've got a dowel. The size and the length of the dowel is up to you, what you're going to need, depending on how many ornaments you're going to be placing in the topiary, how tall you're going to end up making it. So that will vary. So you'll need the dowel. Then you're also going to need a few different bowls, whatever color you would like. I chose the sort of silver and glass look. But any bowl, any color will work. So I put the two bowls together, and if you see, this looks exactly like an ornament. So we're going to glue these together to make them look like ornaments. Then I also have two more bowls in this silver color. I thought they look pretty. You could do it all the same. So, say if you want to do all silver, you can do that. If you want to do all of this faux glass, you can do that. And then I also have these smaller bowls, and then these will be sort of in between the topiary or the larger ornaments in the topiary. And then with these specifically, these have that edging around, and it sort of goes up and down. So when we glue them together, we're going to be very careful to make sure that it's touching. The edges are actually touching, and so there will be some open areas, and then just where it touches, that's where it's going to get glued. And we're also going to be making holes to each of the bowls that will allow us to place it inside the topiary. And then I also have this glass bowl, and it's not glass, it's plastic, but looks like glass, and it's very pretty. And then this one, I've already glued it because for this video, it was going to take me a little bit longer because I've used not just the glue gun, I've used this Fix All Adhesive. This takes longer to dry. But with this particular style, when I was using just the hot glue gun, I found that the beads, because I needed to use a lot to make sure that it was sealing, the beads of hot glue were popping out, and because this is very clear, it just was ruining the texture and the look of this pretty bowl. So what I did is I added the Fix All Adhesive, very thin layer. On top of that, I did a very thin layer of the hot glue gun. And then when I sealed it, I closed it, it was perfect. Nothing else was, seeping through. So you're gonna get, I have two large bowls, one medium, and then I have a total of 4 of those little bowls, so we'll do 2 of the small bowls. Then I also have this, it was actually like a candy dish, but when I saw it, I thought, oh, this is perfect. So I can actually use it to add dimension and additional layer to this, to any of the larger bowls that I add in here. And so it'll go over like this. So we're gonna hot glue that as well. And then I also have these small little like salad dishes. They're plastic, but very pretty, with the silver around, and we're going to use these to kind of put right under the bowls to add a little bit more dimension as well in there and interest. Then I have this bucket, and it's silver, so I thought, perfect, this will be my base. So this is what's going to go at the bottom. Everything else I'm going to build on top of that. And then here, I'm not going to make a hole because I'm just going to use a whole bunch of hot glue. And then our first bowl will be this crystal one. So when I place it on top, I do not need to use the dowel through that. And you want to make sure that the base area is wide enough, so then that will give it enough support wherever you place it. And then I have this other small candy dish, and I thought this would be perfect to place at the top of the topiary, just like this one over here. And we're gonna add, I found this doorknob hanger. We're gonna add that, we're gonna hot glue that there. Look how pretty that looks. Then I'm gonna add some faux snow into this candy dish. Since this is the top part of the topiary, and it's very clear, very, you know, see-through. When I put the dowel through, let me show you, I have it ready. When I put the dowel through, you can see, because this does not have the design all throughout in that clear area, you can see the dowel. So I thought maybe if I put some faux snow in there, put a little bit of that glue around the dowel, and then sprinkle that faux snow, it'll look like it's just, you know, the snow that maybe is inside. So it'll cover the wood color. You can, and we're gonna add a little bit of the acrylic white paint to it as well, so that, you know, we make sure that you don't really see that wood at all. And this is the faux snow I'm using. This one's got a little bit of speckles of color, and then this one, or specks of color I should say, and then this one's just all silver, just very shimmery. So that is the list of our supplies. So now I can walk you through step by step on how I put it together. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I made the holes to these plastic bowls. So I've got this one already that's already made. I don't know if you can see that hole right there. And so I'm going to show you how I did it. Both bowls are plastic, so super easy to do it with the hot glue gun. You need to do the hole based on the size of the dowel. And so, like for me, I'm using a 3/8 size dowel. So I found that my hot glue gun, that tip is about that size, so it works perfectly. And so all I do is I go right in the middle of the bowl, and then I let it sit for a few seconds, and then as the plastic starts getting a little bit soft, I twist and put pressure to make the hole, and I just keep doing that until it's reached to the size that I need. So super easy. Sometimes it could take 1, 2, up to 3 tries, but once you kind of get the hang of it, you will find that it's super easy. And so once I think I'm almost there, I take off the hot glue or the gun, and then see, perfect circle in there. Now I'm going to test it to see if that works. What I find is that as the heat of the glue gun pushes through, it will open up the circle area, or the hole on the outside of the bowl. It opens it up, but then towards the inside, it kind of goes like this. And so that's why then I sometimes need to go back in the opposite direction and do that. But we're going to test it right now and see if I need that. And see, it won't go through. So I do need to do it. So then do the same thing on this side. Put it through that hole that you already have in there. Give it a few seconds so it starts melting. And then twist, twist, twist until you get to that point that you think the hole is ready. Now, you will also have sometimes just extra little plastic that's kind of hanging around the edge. You can use a sharp, whether it's a knife or a pair of scissors, to pop that out very quickly. I use the scissors because sometimes the plastic is still too hot and you want to make sure you don't burn yourself. And there you go. See? Perfect. So we're going to do the same thing to our silver bowl and to these small little bowls. I've already done it to the candy dish. It's already there. And I've already done it, same process, to those small little salad plates that we have here, and this little candy dish that I'm going to be using as well. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to be gluing them together. So with this one, as I mentioned earlier, you it's got those raised edges, and so that's the spots where I'm going to add my hot glue, because that's going to be the contact point for the second bowl when I place it over this. And so you got to be careful when you put it together, and you want to make sure that every corner is touching, so that it all connects and it all glues together. And just got to make sure, and then put a little bit of pressure over it, not too much. Because it's plastic, it's pliable, and so if you press too much, it will stretch out, and so then each of those little raised areas won't be touching. Now, what I do with this one and this one only is I add a few extra little beads of glue, and not too much, because then you're going to actually see the hot glue sticking out, and so I don't want that. But this will help it to give it some additional support, or some additional security, and they won't pop out. So set it aside, and then wait for it to dry before you start adding it to your dowel. And now I'm going to show you how I do this one. So same process of, now this one, it's because it's really big, I kind of do a lot more glue, and it's got some design on the edges, so if some of the glue pops out on the edges, it's totally fine. You won't see them, but I want to make sure I do have enough hot glue in there so it will stay sealed. So same thing, we're going to put the other one over, try to align it so that it all matches up, and hold it in place. Take a look, make sure that everything is, there's contact in every part of the edges. And then again, you're gonna set it aside, let it wait for a few seconds to dry before you start adding it to the dowel. So now we'll do the same with the next one. We're going to begin by gluing the base. In this case is this silver bucket that I have, and adding the ornament, the first ornament on top of that. We're going to use hot glue, and also for extra security I'm using the Fix All Adhesive, and you want to make sure that you use as much as possible so that you have a secure grip, and it's perfectly glued the two pieces together. The hot glue it will help it to secure quickly. The Fix All Adhesive, it takes a little bit longer to dry, but once it dries, those two pieces are not going to be separating in any way. So that's why I like to use the combination of those two. And it's really just for this bottom piece, because the rest are going to be attached to the dowel, and the hot glue is sufficient to hold all those together. And next I'm going to glue the dowel to that silver candy dish. I'm going to make sure that I glue the bottom first, and then make sure that that dowel is sitting straight. Once that dries, I'm going to add a little bit more of that hot glue to the top part, and that will make sure that the dowel stays straight and won't go in any other direction. Okay, so I glued the base ornament to my bucket. I glued my candy dish that had the dowel attached, and then now I'm going to start adding the remainder of the decoration. So I'm going to add the little saucer, and I'm going to add some glue because I want to make sure that it stays in place. It's not wobbly, it's not moving around. And I'm only doing it on the edges because that's really the only touch points for the plate onto the candy dish. So we're going to hold it in place, and then we're gonna add the rest of the decorations. Ornament, which is our candy dish. I'm going to show you how I add the topper and our little jingle bells here. So I'm going to take the longest jingle bell ribbon, and then there was some extra piece of ribbon over here on this side. So I'm taking those two there, and I'm going to wrap it around the topper, this little piece right here of the candy dish. Okay, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to tie it around. Just make sure it all falls in place. I'm going to do one quick knot back here. There we go. And then wrap it again. There we go. And then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue back here, so that when I wrap that last time, it will stay in place. And I'm going to give a little bit of hot glue right here. And wrap it around. So, there you go. All right, see that? Now, I want this to stay propped up. So in order to do that, I'm going to add some hot glue right behind and just hold it in place. So while this dries, I'm going to start setting up the topiary so we can add the last piece. We need to use some of that acrylic white paint to the top of the dowel so we can color that. And then last piece will be to add the candy dish, the faux snow, and we'll be all done. Okay, so now I'm going to, before I put the final decoration on the top, I'm going to be using a little bit of the acrylic paint, and I'm going to be coloring, or painting I should say, the dowel. Only the top part, because I'm going to be adding some of that that faux snow. So I don't need to do the entire thing because the snow is going to cover the bottom part of the dowel. So first we're gonna color here, and then we're going to add the candy dish. And it's okay if you don't let it dry, it's fine, it's not going to take off the paint. And so you see it actually, it's just this part right here that I'm gonna fill up with the faux snow. So this bottom part, you won't even see it at all. And I'm gonna pour it right over the dowel because I want some of that faux snow to actually get stuck to the dowel, so it looks like there's snow that's been accumulating onto that part right there. All right, so I'm gonna move it around, spread it around. Okay, and then now we can hot glue that top part onto the candy dish. So add a little bit of glue. Don't do too much because otherwise it's going to spill out, and you will, because it's a topper, you're going to actually see that. Now, keep in mind, you want to know where's like my front space. For me, it's right here because I'm looking at the base, and I can see that that's where that topper front part belongs, right there. Okay, so there you go. We have completed our topiary, and what's optional, I'll grab it here from the bottom. What's optional is the lights. So I'm going to show you what that final result looks like. You got to make sure. I may need to add a little bit more of that hot glue on this side to just make sure some of that weight is pulling to the left. So let's do that, and then I'll be right back. I'll show you the end result. So this is our beautiful end result. Look at these stunning topiaries. Guys, this only costs between $15 and $20 for each piece, and this could easily cost upwards to $100 for each of these at those arts and crafts and designer stores. So this is definitely something you've got to try out. I wanted to show you what else you could do with those beautiful bowls. I did this little candelabra style ornament, and you could put a string on this and hang, you know, several on your trees in the front yard, in the backyard, and they would look absolutely beautiful, like you've got these crystal balls hanging from those trees. Then I've also added, just to kind of show you, you know, what the whole look would look like if you did all these, put them together with your decorative centerpieces. I also made this silver and gold candle holder, and I put it here so you can kind of look what how it all ties together. And I will put a link of the video in the description box. And I hope you get to give this a try. As I always say in my videos, I share these for inspiration. You take it to however you want to make it for your home. These could also be used year-round. The concept, you can for sure, like let's say Valentine's Day, you could do red, white, and pink. 4th of July, you can do red, white, and blue. So, I mean, there's just so many different things that you can do with these concepts, and just, you know, move around colors, and it's all up to you how you'd like to do it. So, thanks again for stopping by and watching this tutorial, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.